charges an hourly rate. So I was expecting somewhere around $250, $300. And he said, give me this amount. I won't even say the amount because it was so low. I shook my head. I said, we started talking about gas prices, and he said, yeah, tell me about it. I just came down from Monticello, New York, and it cost me almost $30 in gas for the round trip. So George received another tip on top of what I paid him for this service call to help pay for that gas. Do yourselves a favor, folks. Use George Fry. His phone number is in the show notes. I had told him that I've mentioned his name on my podcast, and I apologize to him because I know of a couple of people at least that have contacted him with issues. So I apologize to him for increasing his workload, and he laughed. So George's phone number, I'm not just going to hand it to you. I think I'm going to put it in the show notes, and if you really need him, go to the show notes, get his number, give him a call. So there you go. So George left. The next day I crawled underneath. I found another ground wire that was loose, so I tightened that up. I secured more loom around exposed wires. I started putting together all of the switches and all of that. I'm sitting in the rig, and the rig was 41 degrees when I came out to it this morning. It's now almost 60 in here. I'm running the heat strip up in the rooftop air conditioner that I installed last fall. And so I'm not using any propane today. And not using any space heaters. It's really nice. It's a nice even heat. There's heat in all of the bedroom, in the bedroom, all the rooms. In the bathroom, there's heat coming out. I'm really glad I did that. So, lesson learned again and again and again regarding Thor. It's amazing that they don't know or didn't know about the bed control, the lack of bed controller on this rig, that they gave me the wrong part relay. It's just mind-boggling. I don't understand it. Anyway, very glad everything's working. We're leaving in another 2.5 weeks to head down south. We're going down through Pennsylvania, Jim Thorpe, which we've been wanting to do for a while now. From there, we're going out to the Shenandoahs, down through the Shenandoahs. Then to the Blue Ridge Mountains, to North Carolina, to Tennessee, then up through Kentucky and West Virginia. We'll visit Trisha's son down by Washington, D.C., then come up through Jersey and visit Trisha's grandson, have him stay at the rig, which is really why I wanted this thing fixed prior to this trip because Kingston likes to sleep up in the over-the-cab bed, and we wanted him to be able to do that. We really did not want to have to convert our dinette into a bed. We've never done it, and we're hoping to never have to do it. So we started planning this trip. I guess about 3 weeks ago. At that time, I came out to the rig and I could smell a faint smell of propane. So I knew there was a leak somewhere, and it was coming from by the tank. So I started pulling apart connections. I found an O-ring in one of the connections that had a crack in it, so I replaced that. And I also found 2 connections that did not have any rubber seals built into the connections, so there should have been thread tape to prevent a gas leak when they manufactured this rig at Thor, which they never put that tape on. So I took those apart and taped them and reconnected them, put everything back together, tested it, and voila, no more gas leak. So I did lose about a half a tank of propane over the course of the winter. I've learned my lesson. From now on, I'm going to be closing that valve on the gas tank, the propane tank, when we park it. So we did lose a half a tank. We have a 26-gallon tank. But you got to look on the bright side of things, folks, in life and in RVing. Otherwise, you'll go crazy. So the bright side, the rig didn't catch on fire. It didn't explode in our driveway from this propane leak. So So for this trip, like I said, we started planning it. I'll put a link to how we plan our trips in the show notes. We'll be on the road for about 7 weeks or so. And we've reserved everything except for the last. There's a couple of nights we're not really sure about timing to meet Trisha's son. So there's a few nights up in the air, but we counted it up, and half of our nights will be spent at Boondockers Welcome locations. Now, all of these have at least 15 amp electric. A few of them have 50 amp, and one of them even has a dump. So, not bad. We have a handful of stays reserved at wineries through Harvest Hosts, and the majority of the campgrounds that we're going to be staying at are Passport of America campgrounds. So they cost us half of their rack rate per night. You go to my website, to the discounts page. There are links to the 3 companies: Harvest Host, Boondockers Welcome, and Passport of America. I know Boondockers Welcome, their membership rate is going up. I don't know exactly when. So this is being recorded in March. I believe it's like May of 2022 or maybe June. I'm not sure. But if you're on the fence and thinking about it, join Boondockers Welcome now. You know, we were very hesitant at the beginning about joining them. The thought of staying in somebody's property really freaked us out. We're in New York. We don't trust people. But we figured for the cost of 1 year's membership was basically one night at a campground. So we joined. We're now on our 4th year as members of Boondockers Welcome. It saved us thousands and thousands of dollars. We've stayed at almost 100 different locations. We've made friends in 2 different countries. via being hosted by hosts at Boondockers Welcome. We figured that when we first joined, we said we'll do it one night, and if we don't like it, we leave, and we'll never do it again. However, we love it. So I suggest if you're on the fence, buy a membership, try it for one night this summer, or whenever you're traveling, and go from there. It's like $50, I think. And then you're locked in at the lower rate for the rest of your membership time. If you wait and join after the rate goes up, like at the end of this summer, you're going to be paying a lot more money, and every year is going to cost you a lot more money. So figured to just put that out for you. This is stress management, So we totaled it up. We're going to be gone for 7 weeks, and our total cost for campgrounds is $650. Now, we do have a few nights up in the air, and what we will be doing is staying at Harvest Host for those few nights, so those will be free. So $650 in camping fees for 7 weeks. Not too shabby. That's going to help pay for some of our gas. This is stress management, so I'm not going to be talking about gas. So the next episode will be in about 3 weeks or so. I'll be releasing that when we're out in the Shenandoahs somewhere, hiking or sipping on a glass of wine or something. Not really sure, but that's the plan, folks. All right, that's enough of that. I've been talking your ear off. Get back to what you were doing. Hopefully it was laughing and joking and having a good time. That's what life is about, folks. All right. Till next time, drive safe, smile, be well. Drop me a note. Say hi. RelaxRV at hotmail.com. Visit my website. And be well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.